All right, guys, let's tackle this topic. So first off, hope everyone had a great last couple of days. Good to see you, or not see you. Good to see John. Good to see James. Good to see Rhea. Good to be heard by anyone listening to our show. We appreciate it. Look, let's get into it today here at 215-592-9494 because, it was a couple of months ago, Scott Boras came out publicly and said, he and Bryce would like Bryce to have, a contract extension. And, the deal with baseball, you can't rip up a contract. Sort of like the NBA. You can't rip it up. All you can do if you want more money is to extend the deal. And so the Phillies could extend the deal with Bryce Harper. To this point, they have not. Now, I will tell you before we go any further, I think the Phillies will extend the deal. Whether you like it or not, I think the Phillies will extend the deal. I will tell you this. I don't think they should. Harper's under contract still for 8 more years and over $200 million. But, I am curious where everyone stands at 215-592-9494. We've been down this road before. Now, this is a unique one. 8 years left, over $200 million. Like, what are you talking about? Why in the world would you even entertain the possibility of extending a Bryce Harper contract? Well, we've been down this road with Terrell Owens. We've been down this road with Hassan Reddick. Now, this one's different, again, because of how much money's left and how many years are left. But I do wonder how much of an appetite there is out there, and I want to hear from you at 215-592-9494. To give Bryce, who has been superlative, he has been unbelievable. He has been better than I imagined, and I imagined a lot, and he's been better than that. I wonder if there's a sentiment out there to give Bryce additional money just to quell the situation. Look, he's under contract till 39. It's a multi-billion-dollar deal business. So are you of the mindset to say, hey, look, yeah, it's irritating. Yeah, it's frustrating as a fan to stomach. But just give the guy an extra, 2 years, $75 million. Take him into his 40s. Make him happy. And let's just get on with it. Because getting on with Bryce Harper is getting on with one of the great players in Philadelphia sports, history. Is that your mindset? Or is this one of those things where I am, which is like, come on. What are we doing here? The guy's under contract for almost a whole nother decade. He's under contract to the age of 39. He signed it. Tough cookies, buttercup, to take two different phrases and put them together. John, where are you?
I don't think that was that effective. That recombination.
No.
Tough cookies, buttercup. Not going to catch on.
I'm just trying to.
Not for me.
I'm trying to cross it weird. John, where are you on the Bryce Harper thing?
You always cross it weird, Joe.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, man.
Thanks, pal. What do you make
good
of
to
this,
see you,
John?
Jimmy. Jimmy, healthy.
I'm
back.
Healthy, Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
You feel good, James?
Yeah, I feel great.
Good.
It's
Totally back to normal.
Good.
Couple rough days, and now I feel fine.
You look great.
Thanks, buddy.
Very
Are you eating in there?
put together.
Are you eating right now?
I have a breakfast.
Are you
kind bar, yeah.
reprimanding right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, we go to him at
Come on,
6:01 a.m. We
Well,
go to
you
him for
couldn't. No one could
celebrate
tell,
him.
It's you only because you can see me. You
Well,
knew.
I wasn't the one that pivoted to you. He's the one that started talking to you. I mean, okay.
Yeah, celebrate him, all right? He's
Right,
back.
Celebrate him like
Yeah.
Ben
He's a treasure.
Simmons. He's a treasure.
I'm eating
And I'm not
breakfast,
being
unlike
sarcastic.
you, I don't have like a bowl of pasta in front of me
I
at
don't
6
have
o'clock in the morning.
bowl of pasta today either. All right, John, and again, everyone, look, is this crazy talk to give Bryce more money, or is this just business? Is this just baseball? Is it, some might say it's wise business to just have no problems moving forward. If you want to deal with a bad contract like 10 years from now, then you do. John, where do you stand on this Bryce thing?
Yeah, I love you, Bryce. I get this a little bit, but I'm going to make Scott Boras the bad guy here. Maybe in a couple more years, if you maintain this excellence, then things will feel different, and Boras won't feel like the villain asking for this. I am still, in my mind, I'm like the thought bubble, the voice bubble is coming from Scott Boras on this ask. I think right now Boras should go pound sand. I don't want to mess around with setting a crazy precedent until we absolutely have to. That crazy precedent, he's 31. He signed a deal for 13 years and $330 million. He's only played 5 years of that. Now, it's just not, it doesn't feel quite right to me yet. Now, I understand Bryce wants to be paid closer to what he's worth to this team. And he knew his dilemma was coming because he didn't sign a contract with the opt-out in it.
That's right.
And I do appreciate that opt-out concept. And what I know what I've been informed, what I can learn by reading about this contract is that he did not want the opt-out. Scott Boras always wants to include an opt-out, just to protect his guys.
John, if he had it, he could have opted out right now right now, a couple months ago, gotten a whopper of a deal.
Manny Machado signed the same time as Bryce,
right.
Remember?
I do remember.
It was Manny or Bryce.
Right.
Manny had an opt-out in his contract. He exercised that opt-out. Manny just was rewarded for that opt-out by a $350 million extension.
A new $350.
A new $350 million extension. Here's Bryce, set to make 8 more years at $24.5 million a year. I can understand his dilemma. I'm just telling you, it feels a little early. And by the way, I really appreciate.
It feels a lot early.
I really appreciate that the opt-out not being in his contract is because Bryce wanted to be a bulletproof recruiter for this team. He didn't want anyone to be able to say, well, hey, look, he's trying to bring you to Philadelphia. What's the guarantee? Bryce will stay in Philadelphia. He wanted to be able to say, well, the guarantee is I'm never opting out. This is where I want to live. This is where I want to raise my family. And that is important to me. So to some degree, I'm a little bit conflicted. I do think it's early for this. I'm not ready to go there yet. Yeah. I'm still making Boras the bad guy. I can see something like this happening in a couple years down the road.
I will tell you, so I think it's going to happen sooner than that. Whether you want it to or not, I think it will. I don't like it because, to me, it's like, $330 million should be enough. Now, I will say this. When you bring up the Machado thing, John, he's probably, and we could add it all up, when all is said and done, he's probably going to get $500 million from the Padres. What'd you say, 350 you just referenced?
350.
Plus, he's probably already made, and again, we could look it up, he's probably made about $150 million in those first 5 years. So that means he's going to get like about $500 million. Bryce, who I believe is a better player, is going to get $330 million. Now, here's another interesting thing.
But Bryce's contract is still the seventh largest in the history of Major League Baseball. That $330 million, it's the seventh biggest ever.
Yeah, but here's what it also is. Less money per year than Trey Turner.
Yep. 24. It ends up, what he's got left, it's 24 and a half left. If you look at that, it's 8 years left, 196 million left. My math says that's $24.5 million.
Well, I thought it was 27, but it's somewhere in there. I wonder in that clubhouse, does Bryce making less money this year than Trey Turner chafe him?
I mean, I don't know.
Because it seems like it does.
Look, I think they're trying to get more money. Who wouldn't? You take advantage of an opportunity to get more money if you can. I don't think Bryce is sitting there looking at Trey and being like, I'm better than you. I mean, that's baseball. I mean, there are tons of guys on teams who sign contracts before better than players who make more money than them. I mean, Aaron Nola is going to make more money than Bryce Harper this year. I don't think he's going to look at Nola and be like, wow, But I do think that Bryce probably believes he is worth more.
Let's listen to Bryce Harper over the weekend. Obviously, all the players reported to spring training. A lot of commentary coming out of Clearwater on all sorts of different issues, and we'll cover so much of it today. Here's Bryce Harper over the weekend on a possible extension with the Phils.
I believe your agent said that you would like an extension at some point. Is that basically to know that you're going to retire as a Philly?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been communication there, between, myself and Dave, and also Scott and Dave as well. Obviously, I want to be here for a long time, and, we'll see what happens.
All right, so that's just a little taste of it, but Harper continued on when asked more about the topic of a possible extension with the Phils.
Will you be okay if the potential extension does not happen in the short term, or is this something that you feel like you have some urgency on that you want to see done sooner rather than later if it happens?
I understand there's other guys to take care of, right? Understanding that Wheels is a big one for us right now. But, contract negotiations can happen, throughout contract negotiations can happen, throughout the season and things like that. So, we'll see what Scott and Dave can come up with.
You've talked a lot about how you did not want an opt-out, right? You don't have one, didn't want one. Does that make this, you're in year 6, right? Going into year 6 here. Does that make this more challenging for you to kind of get, what you want to see done to this contract?
No, I haven't really thought about it too much about that. Just trying to, understand I want to be here for a long time and understand, playing into my 40s. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. So wanting to get that done.
That's Bryce the other day. I will say this. I think the whole thing's kind of ridiculous. I do, at least as a Philadelphia sports fan and a Phillies fan, appreciate it's not like he's being, a jerk about it. He's not doing sit-ups in his driveway. This is not, he's not taking this and pinning the Phils publicly up against the wall. He's sort of putting he's putting it out there, but he's not being a jerk about it. Now, let me say this.
Hold on.
Go ahead, John.
When he talks about the future like that, I appreciate talking about playing into his 40s. It's just something that I can't believe it until I see it. Like, that's one of those things that it's just like, it's so rare and unexpected that any player's body cooperates like that.
Right.
And I know Bryce wants his body to cooperate. Bryce is 31 years old. We it's talking about playing into Tom Brady time. Like,
right.
that really is like so far out there in the future.
And the Phils can deal with that, 6 years from now or 7 years from now or 8 years from now.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, John. I think they're going to do it sooner than later. Here's a quote from John Middleton in Scott Lauber's piece today. This is what John Middleton said over the weekend. Quote, "Look, I want Bryce to retire as a Philly. I frankly expect him to retire as a Philly. I'm hoping for that. And I think we'll work something out. I don't know when that'll be, and I don't know what it'll be, but I think there's two people that want it to work, and we'll find a way." What is everyone's reaction? I want to hear from you at 215-592-9494 to the whole Bryce Harper thing, as it relates to T.O., as it relates to Hassan Reddick, as it relates to anything and everything we've seen in Philadelphia sports. Is this just phony baloney nonsense, or is it just good business practice to take the best player in Philadelphia sports, give him money that, would be an extra $100 million, an extra $50 million, an extra $75 million, to tip him over into his 40s, to make him happy and just say, let's go get the rest of this over the next, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Your phone calls, 215-592-9494. What do you make of the Bryce thing? The best player in Philly sports, under contract for 8 more seasons, once more. What do you say? Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie, it's 94 WIP.